Hi everyone, and welcome to Leo's Sun, Moon, and Rising June 2021 Love, Abundance, and Spiritual Health Extended Reading. Welcome. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren, and I'm really excited to do today's reading. So all the readings that I've done up until this point, Leos, have been really amazing. I think the month of June is going to be tapping into, it's a doorway month. So numerologically speaking, for anybody who is into numbers, June is a universal 11 month, which 11 is a master number that really highlights the relationship between us, the individual, and the divine. I look at it as a portal number. This ability for us to be able to see and tap into kind of what are the possibilities for us as a spiritual individual and at our peak spiritual growth. And so we get this chance in June to kind of get a glimpse of our ultimate selves. Additionally, the 11, when you think about it, is two number ones side by side. And so there really is this push for us to look at ourselves, our unique individual spiritual beings, against everything else, everybody else's external unique individuality as their own unique being. And so there is this dynamic between really looking at ourselves against everybody else, seeing what makes us stand out, but understanding too that we have to respect and appreciate ourselves as who we are uniquely, as much as we respect and appreciate the importance of every other individual that we come in contact with, and that our relationship and interconnectedness between the two is what really opens that portal. It's what opens that door to basically spiritual abundance, for us to see how far we can go in our spiritual evolutionary growth. So this is a really beautiful month. Everybody, every sign, but every person as well, is going to be pushed by the energies of this month to really go through an internal change, an internal awakening of some sort that's going to help propel them coming into July and throughout the rest of the year to really highlight and become aware of their unique abilities and where these can be utilized best. Because moving into 2022 is going to be a very beautiful year of kind of actualization. Now, coming back to the month of June, before I get too far down the line there, June is, in addition to being an 11 universal month and kind of opening up this portal between us and the divine, there's also a lot of, for anybody who follows astrology, a lot of astrological events taking place that are very important. So we're in between last month's lunar eclipse, which was our full moon, and we are going to be coming up on June 10th with a solar eclipse and a new moon. And so when we're in between these two eclipses, the first, and anytime we have a full moon, there's this element of highlighting what is currently is, and highlighting something to us that needs to be released. And by the next eclipse, which is coming up on, again, next week, June 10th, we are going to be pushed with the new moon to release that. So most of us, if we are kind of more aware of ourselves, something probably has been brought to light. And we've been sitting with it since mid last month. And now we're going to be pushed to potentially have this opportunity, this beautiful opportunity to release it and be able to kind of free ourselves to walk through this portal of June. Additionally, we have Mercury in retrograde in its home sign of Gemini. We will very shortly have Jupiter and Saturn and the planet Pluto all also going into retrograde. Now, retrogrades are not things to be afraid of. I think they've gotten a bad rap just in common culture. Retrogrades more are seen as areas to basically push. It's a pushing energy for us to kind of reset, go within, and see what isn't working so that we can kind of reset and walk through, kind of work out the kinks, so that once these planets go out of retrograde, we can kind of go full steam ahead. I am not a professional astrologer, so I'm not going to go deep into that. But I do find it interesting that, again, we have these really unique planetary alignments and events happening along with June's portal numerology. And then the readings have really lined up with that. So this reading specifically is going to focus on love, abundance, and spiritual health. I'm going to start with love, and we're going to pull a card for each area, and then I'm going to intuitively go into basically what you can expect for the month of June and any blocks that you can help basically become aware of and navigate around or through so that you can clear them, so that you really can harness the best of this month. Again, when you're thinking of this month as a portal, we want to move through that portal with almost like leaving old baggage behind. So this really is that month. If you haven't done spring cleaning, just physically, this is a good month to do that. But this is really going to be spring cleaning on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So get prepared. So for love, I'm going to pull a card from the Power of Surrender deck. And the reason why I use the Power of Surrender deck is because I really feel that love in general is an area in our lives where we often have to be vulnerable in some sense, but we hesitate and don't want to be vulnerable. And we need to know when we need to surrender, whether to something or from something. And in doing so, it can really help us make the most of being vulnerable in love so that we can open that channel for free-flowing energy. So when I talk about love, yes, I probably will bring in more of the traditional aspects of love, romantic love and interpersonal love. But I also want you to keep in mind, as we're talking about love, that I view love personally as the energy that connects all humans, but not even just all humans, that it connects us with everything, with the plants outside and the animals and the stars in the sky, that I do believe that there's an interconnectedness between everything and that there is this underlying connection. And that connection I call love, because there is this element to our universe that has a divine design underneath what to us seems kind of unknowable and chaotic. And that divine design shows us that there is a place and a purpose for everything, from the smallest molecule to the largest sun in the sky. And when we think about that, we bring love to this extra level of, if that's the case, if we are all part of that design, then we are each perfect in our own way. We are each loved. We each carry with us that element of being able to experience completeness and fulfillment in that knowledge. And love should be an open channel. We should be able to give love and externally flow love from ourselves by understanding our unique selves and bringing our unique abilities and spiritual selves into our external lives. And I will use the term living into life because that's really how I see it, that we are bringing ourselves into connection with others and just in general with our external environment. And vice versa, we should also be expecting an open flow of love to come back towards us, so that we should be feeling in flow with everything around us in our environment, including the people who are around us. So this is really taking a look at areas where we can cut ourselves off from either being able to receive love or being able to bring our unique selves out and give love or show love. Okay, so thank you for listening to me talk, my lovely Leos. All right, Leo, so we have your first card. So for the area of love this month, we have surrender to your intuition. What a cool card. Love that image. It says, tune in to your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So this is actually a very positive card. It's telling you that this month you're tapped in. You are, when we think about surrendering to our intuition, a lot of times we know something. We know it. And I really think this ties into the eclipse portal that I was talking about at the beginning here, where something was highlighted last month and something is meant to be released as we move away from June 10th and the new moon solar eclipse. And we move into, actually, when you think about the dates, June 11th. The 11th is like the true kind of, again, harnessing that mirror energy of the 11 of the month itself. So we're really looking at June 11th as this kind of, okay, this is stepping through the portal as my clean, baggage-free self. And so I really think what this is telling you here is that in preparation for that, in preparation for really being able to harness the energies of this month and coming forward as your best and brightest and heart-centered Leo selves. I have so many Leos in my life. My partner is a Leo and I love him to death. But you know, I think sometimes you forget just how powerful you guys are, how tapped into the warmth and radiance that you are all here to, by just being born under the sign or having the sign of Leo in your chart, that you're meant to shine, that you're meant to bring into every situation. So the sign of Leo is associated with the sun. So you are the biggest and brightest and boldest of what I feel all of the zodiac signs are. You are meant to be the illuminator. And in addition to that, you also really tie in with the heart chakra. So you are kind of like the heart care bear. You are meant to come into every situation and use your superpower of love and light and brightness. And I think sometimes you admit this and you are so there for everybody else that sometimes you forget to shine that light back on yourself, that you forget to give that back, or you also forget that others, when you're thinking about love as an energy of give and take, that should be coming back to you. And so in kind of understanding this, that you guys harness at any given point, at any given time, the energy of love and can kind of use it for good or evil. That this month, in order for you to really harness it in the best possible way and to clear any blocks that have been holding you back from shining at your most radiant, as your most radiant self, it's about surrendering to you, surrendering to what you know, surrendering to what deep down inside you know you've been probably tied to or holding on to that has not been allowing you to shine at your brightest. So really, again, I'm going to read this again because I think it's so beautiful. Tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. So this is also highlighting that this month is a month for you to go within, June is kind of an interesting month in that even though the month itself is really pushing each one of us to reevaluate our connection between self and the external self, which is everyone else's unique internal selves, that for some signs it's about going out and really working with that external energy. And for some, it's about going within and really kind of getting back to that appreciation of who you are as the unique individual, that sometimes we can kind of get lost in the crowd. And for you, Leo, I feel like that's really where this month it's telling you, instead of going out and trying to really work with the external environment to gain that internal clarity, it's more about you just going within. You don't need other people's opinions this month. You don't need to overly discuss things. You don't need to, I would say, anywhere where you feel like you're doubting yourself, or you feel like something's not quite right. This is where it's almost like the beams of light are trying to shine through, and it's like there's like little cracks, and you'll start to notice that your internal light is shining a beam onto something that needs to be addressed. And so this month is about surrendering to yourself, surrendering to the fact that you are the sun, you are meant to shine, and that in some capacity something has been holding you back from, I think, truly loving yourself, from having that energy of love open to you so that you understand and appreciate how beautiful a being you are and how important you are. And that should be reciprocated in the actions of others. And when we talk about love, it encompasses everything. Love can encompass work. It can encompass, romantic love, being in a significant partnership with somebody else. It can work with friend and family ties. And even if we take it to a place of work, if you are not feeling like you are being seen or appreciated or paid enough for what you do, that is showing that the love is not coming through to you, that the energy of love is blocked in that area, and that you are in every day going to work for a company or under somebody who makes you feel less than, blocks your feeling of intuition, where you feel like you should be getting more but you're not. This can really prevent you from shining at your brightest self, because again, the give and take and the easy flow of energy regarding love is not reciprocated. So you showing up to work and doing your best is you working with the energy of love. You not receiving the pay or not receiving the kudos that you should for all the hard work that you do, that is a block. Now, the same could be said if you're looking at let's say, romantic partnership. So you could be giving and giving and giving and not feel that it's coming back to you. That you're like, I'll just give a little more. It's okay, I can take it. And in reality, it's hurting you. It's blocking you from receiving love. And when we're blocked from receiving love, that's really where we feel that emotional disconnection. And that emotional disconnection it's tied directly to our self-worth and self-value and how and where we see our place in the world. So the more we feel that we are not receiving recognition of our value in the external world, the more we start to devalue ourselves internally, the more we start to block ourselves off from being able to authentically express ourselves, because we start to close off more and more. Like, well, I'm just not going to share that part of myself anymore because it's not being reciprocated. Or I keep sharing and now I'm depleting this in myself, and I'm starting to, instead of love my superpower, I'm starting to hate it. And so this month, this is really telling you to go within and really connect back to what you know you need, to what you know you personally need to feel at your brightest and best. And something was highlighted last month that you know needed to be let go of. Now, this could be letting go of a past relationship that devalued you, letting go of a disappointment that hurt your ego or pride. It could even be work-related. Perhaps you had a bad experience in a place of work and you're taking this into where you currently work. And that's a hard one. You know, the stories of the past oftentimes can become a mask in between us and our intuition. We don't listen to ourselves because we believe that when something didn't happen right before, or we were hurt before, that, well, see, now I'm being told this, but I can't trust myself. I can't trust myself because the last time I thought everything was great, it wasn't. The last time I thought I wasn't going to get hurt, I did. The last time I thought this job seemed too good to be true, it was. You know, but you have to realize that working with your intuition is just like working with a muscle. Because we are not taught, along with basic education, we're not taught to work with our intuition. Most of us go into, from childhood to adulthood, with what I call an atrophied spiritual self, which ties directly to your intuition as well. And we have, at that point, already built up layers of masking between ourselves and between our external self and our ability to fully recognize and work with our internal spiritual self. And so at that point, we really have a hard time seeing our authentic selves. We have hidden so many parts of ourselves because we've been hurt. And instead of looking at these as lessons, where each time we learn this lesson, just like a kid learning to ride a bike, or just like you being in math class and getting half of the problems wrong, and then you learn how to do them right, we don't realize and look at our spiritual self and the mistakes that we make and that are tied to them and our emotional connection as well to them. That we don't look at that as, okay, this is a learning point. Perfect. It made me realize that the next time I get into a relationship, I'm going to feel into it. Do I feel that same kind of, I remember what that felt like. I remember what being hurt felt like, or I remember what it felt like to be ignored, or I remember what it felt like to, give and not receive. And then that's the point that you move on, or that's the point where you don't go on the second date, or that's the point where you choose not to move in with somebody. But these are lessons learned. They're not points of telling you, see, you were wrong. It's, see, now you know. Now you flexed that muscle a few times and now you're aware of it. And now it's time for you to flex that muscle this month, to take a look and go within and allow, really, I think, get into also your body. Using your body as a guide of looking at different aspects of your life. And this would be a great point of meditation for all of you this month. If you don't normally meditate, and I feel like, especially here on this channel and, working with, some people are so spiritually minded and they meditate and they, do all of these things. They are into crystals and all of that. Great. And then there are people who, just like me when I first started kind of breaking into this world years ago, know nothing. And no, I never meditated. And no, I never did a yoga pose. And no, I had no idea about astrology. And in fact, 20 years ago, if I could go back to my 20 years ago self, I would be laughing at myself right now saying, what the heck are you talking about? But the beauty of knowledge is the more you know, the more you know. kind of like that old, I don't know, what was it, ABC, NBC thing, the more you know. Well, that's exactly what the world of spiritual development is about. The more you know, the more you stay open, the more you are going to really unlock the awareness of self and the ease of bringing that self into your external environment and working with it. But this month, so this is really about meditating. Now, does not have to be meditation where you are sitting cross-legged and going, This is more about finding that time a few days a week, each week this month, to stop and reflect and feel into your body so that you connect to your emotional core. Because again, how we feel, our emotional core ties us to our physical body. We need to work with both. And so this month is really about, in order to engage your intuition and take it from just a mental place and bring it down into your emotional body where you can feel and really start to work with what's coming up, stop and think about the different aspects of your life. Perhaps one day you think about your relationship with your significant partner and you feel how your body is feeling into your relationship. You think about how maybe a couple recent instances where you guys have interacted, and just see how your body responds. Did it make you feel sad? Did it make you feel happy? Did you guys go out to eat and have a date night that was awesome? Or did instead you wanted to plan the date night, but your partner canceled on you and prioritized something else and it didn't make you feel great? Or to look at your work life, and not just to look at what is now, to take a look at what was and what is. So to take a look at perhaps a previous job that might be coloring your experience with your current job, or a previous relationship that is coloring your experience now to be able to fully be vulnerable in a current relationship. And really focus on that this month and feel into, how did that past relationship make me feel? When I did this and this happened, how did that make me feel? And do I feel that now? And that's really where your gut is going to tell you. That's where your intuition, this is you working with your intuition. This is really where you're going to start to see, okay, what is a story from the past that I can release? And that did hurt me. But now what I have going for me at this point is not hurting me. So I don't have to be afraid. I can just surrender myself to knowing that my intuition is telling me this is right or this is wrong. And this is what I have to release. So there is going to be something that's going to be highlighted for you that you will have to release. And that's kind of what you're digging down to feel. What is it that you have to release? Is it a tie to something in the past, or is it a tie to something now? It's very powerful. But again, this is all for you. This is not for you to go externally and talk to everybody and get everybody else's opinions. This is a month for you to go internally and do a lot of internal awareness work. And I think what comes up is going to be really just like ding. And once you release that, it is like the Care Bear kind of like brushing off his chest here and being like, oh yeah, there's my superpower again. There's me. Okay, I can let that go. I don't have to carry that around with me anymore. I don't have to carry around a hurt from a past relationship, or I don't have to be in this current relationship, or I can go and ask for a raise. And if I don't get one, well, you know what? I value myself. I remember how good I was. I feel that I'm not being honored, that I'm not receiving the energy of love where I am. And it's time for me to release and start to look for a new job. These are, what comes from being able to surrender. That you're surrendering to yourself and where you're being guided, because your intuition really is your internal compass. This is your tie between you and the divine, and your intuition is what tells you you're on the right track, you're not on the right track, you're on the right track, you're not on the right track. And once you start to work with it and you start to see the negative things that have happened in your life as just points of growth, and you being able to recalibrate that compass, then you start to get back into a place of trusting your intuition again, get back into a place of surrendering to it. If it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. And no, you can't talk yourself into or you can't rationalize around feeling better about something that doesn't feel right. So really trust yourself this month, Leo. Okay, so now we're going to get into abundance. And abundance can, obviously we can talk about abundance as financial abundance, which, heck, I think all of us would love to have more of. But abundance also can be different for us at different times in our lives, or just different for different people. So perhaps you, at this point in your life, are looking for more abundance of peace in your life, more abundance of time, more abundance of family and friends around you or support. And so we're kind of looking at abundance across the board of what you need to know if there are blocks to just being able to work with abundance so that you can continue to manifest abundantly in your life what you would like to manifest. Oh, Leo, you got such a beautiful card. You have blessed. I love this card in this deck, and it's number 22, which is interesting because the number 22 is also a master number in numerology. It's the number of the master builder, which I love. So it's neat that it's kind of mirroring the 11 universal month, or 11 universal number of the month of June. And it's bringing it into a place of the number 2 is really working with others, engaging with others. And when we think about the master builder is somebody who works with others to build to manifest in the tangible physical world. So this is like the ultimate manifester. And this really shows me that you guys, for the month of June, if you can clear that block between you and clear that block in love between whatever is holding you back from shining at your brightest and really being able to see clearly your own self-worth and value, and tap back into getting that internal compass realigned with yourself. What you're going to realize is that this month, the portal that you're going to be stepping through is this portal of ease of manifestation, because you're going to be able to harness that number of interpersonal connection. You're going to be able to really feel at peace with yourself, at ease with yourself, back into being, I think, excited again about who you are, and really understanding now, as you take that interrelationship with others, your importance, along with being able to have that mirrored back, their importance as well, and you being able to respect that. And then you being able to really sit in a place of understanding that the more you go within to reevaluate yourself, the more you are going to be pushed to make decisions this month. Sorry guys, I keep having all these notifications pop up here. Okay. The more you're going to be having all of these notifications, you're going to be getting all of these opportunities come in for you to basically use your internal guidance, your new reset compass, to say yes or no to. This shows me that you guys that manifestation this month is going to be easy for you, that abundance is all around you, and that you're being asked to step in authentically and evaluate these opportunities as they come in. And opportunities can come in a variety of ways. A lot of times we think of opportunities as like somebody coming in and offering you this job, or An opportunity is, I'm trying to think of, I mean, that's a very clear-cut one, an opportunity. Or, if there's an opportunity, let's say you're looking for love and a person pops up and asks you out on a date. It's not always as overt as that. An opportunity can be simply you having the opportunity to talk with perhaps somebody who is outside of your normal working group or team. Maybe you get a chance to talk to your regional director privately, one-on-one, and you get to have the opportunity to share an idea that perhaps would never have otherwise reached that person's ears. And now you get a chance to share it with them in an impassioned and confident way, knowing that it's coming from you. And knowing that you feel in this moment, as you're talking to this regional director, that you feel like, okay, this is the time. This is the time for me to finally tell somebody about this idea. This is the person, and you're going to act on it. Or it can be an opportunity to open up a current relationship that you have that perhaps maybe you've been on the fence a little bit about, because in a previous relationship you realized that you had been hurt and that you've been hiding a part of yourself now in your current relationship, and that's what you have to release, is hiding a part of yourself. And so you're going to take this opportunity at some point that's going to arise where you can bring this part of yourself out into interaction with your partner, and to see and work with, okay, what's their reaction to this? But the opportunity could be that it could end up making your relationship that much stronger and bringing in a level of abundance in that area that will help you build and manifest. It might be something where you finally open up about, yes, I would like to move in together, or I would like to take this next step. I love you, and I would love to be married to you, or maybe you haven't talked about children and this is something you've been hiding and you really want children, and this is now the time to talk about it. And you can bring in a level of abundance and manifestation there. So this is kind of how abundance works. And a lot of times we, especially when we're disconnected and we're not aware of really how we interact with our external environment and how we can have the power to make small decisions that can have and end up having large results, that we miss small opportunities that can lead to large manifestations. So this month, I just had this feeling, especially with blessed, it's really speaking to me of there are going to be some divinely guided opportunities coming your way this month, that if you do tune into yourself, you do release whatever you're being called to release, you get back into union and confidence with your unique self, that there's going to be these little opportunities throughout the month to really be able to harness that energy of the master builder. You have the opportunity this month to step forward and utilize the month of June as this portal into being able to create through small decisions this month, and being hyper aware of what's coming in and how you're working with others to manifest kind of a little piece of heaven on earth for yourself. This is like a massive manifestation month for you, to really be able to take a look at what would it be like to live in your ideal world, to work in your ideal setting, to have your ideal partner or family life, to have just your ideal life, and to really be able to, in just saying yes or no and taking these opportunities for what they are in the moment and making the most of them, being able to move into July with this ability to hyper manifest abundance in the areas that you really want. So if you want to have abundance right now in your financial world and in your work life, by just focusing again on these small opportunities, these windows that are going to come in, whether it's getting an opportunity to have the ear of somebody higher up in your company, or you get the opportunity to head up a project that could make you shine. Or you get the opportunity, let's say somebody comes and talks to you about an investment opportunity. And maybe you haven't considered that previously, but suddenly now it feels right because it's with the right person or it's for the right thing, and whatever you're investing in feels right to you. And so instead of holding back like you have in the past because you maybe doubted yourself or whatever it was that you were going to invest in, you didn't know anything about, now this month you're going to get the opportunity again, but to come from a place of using your intuition to say, is this right or is this wrong for me? And then being able to take advantage of it. So coming out of June, you're going to reap those rewards. Same thing with abundance and love. If you can release whatever you've been needing to release from the past, the more you go in and take these little moments of opportunity to either reach out to somebody on a dating app, or if you already are in a partnership with somebody, if you want to take it to the next level, finding that opportunity to become vulnerable, to talk about that with your partner, or simply just being open, being more open. Let's say you don't have a partnership, but you're looking for love. When you go out and you're interacting with others, to keep your ear open for when somebody says, oh, hey, I have a friend I'd love to introduce you to. To instead of just instinctually being like, no, the last time I did that, it was a terrible experience, to stop and say, wait a second, in this moment, does this feel right? Is this my opportunity? This month is going to be a really important month for you. Even though it's a month of going within, and again, it's not a month of getting external opinions and advice. This is a month of really focusing on you and what you feel and navigating from this internal place as you interact with your external environment. You really, if you can be clear on what you want to bring into your life and what area you want to really call in abundance, you're going to be able to manifest it, and very quickly and very easily, and it's going to come through opportunities that other people and other situations are going to bring into you. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful month. And coming into July, I think you're going to be surprised at just the level of leveling up in that area that you want abundance in. Okay, so now for spiritual health, we are going to pull an animal spirit card. So when I talk about spiritual health, this is really looking at how well you are connecting, how well you are aware of your internal unique self, and how healthy is your engagement with your internal self, with your external environment. So how authentically are you acting in your day-to-day life? How authentically are you choosing to interact with others? Are you, before you make decisions, are you making decisions from a place of awareness? So that when you take action, it's in accordance to what works for you and your unique self. Oh my gosh. So Cancer just got this card in their last reading too. And I think it's crazy. It just popped out. This is after I shuffled this deck a million times. Butterfly spirit. The number 11. Totally aligning with the energy of this month. The energy of, again, the portal between yourself and the divine. You really harnessing that power of yourself and understanding its importance, but being able to also recognize and mirror that with the others around you. And I love what it says here. It says, transformation is beautiful. And boy, isn't it, Leo. So this month is going to be that month for you where you're releasing. You're basically being asked to release the cocoon. That's what I'm feeling for you guys. Cancer was a little different. For you, I feel like with Cancer, it was more like, okay, it's time to stay in the cocoon and just enjoy this a little bit longer before you have the big reveal. For you guys, it's more not that. It's more that you've been I think like the caterpillar that's been a little too long in the chrysalis. That you've been hiding your beautiful wings. You've been hiding this incredible version of yourself, this incredible Leo sun lion on the mountaintop, heart Care Bear. And you've been, repressing it. And I feel like you guys have been in this kind of cocoon phase. You've been in this phase of learning lessons, of transforming, making decisions that have probably led you to this point right now where you have changed. But I get that what you're being told to release, what you were kind of what was being highlighted last month was the shell, the cocoon. That whatever has kept you kind of safe and secure and hidden from the world, that mask between yourself, your unique spiritual self, and your external environment, whatever that is, I believe was highlighted. Whether that's the job you've been in for 15 years, and it's been safe, you have job security, you know who you are there, you don't have to, but the other side to it is that you also can't show your new self. Or it's the partnership that you've been in for a long time that is no longer right for you. It's just been, you kind of just been sitting with it, and it's going nowhere, and you want to release this beautiful part of yourself, but this partnership is holding you back. Or the release of an old partnership. Energies from the past could be the same thing. Maybe you've been hiding in this place of victimhood for a while. And I know nobody wants to be told that they're a victim, or that, I think especially Leos, you guys have a lot of pride, there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we can tell the same story for so long about hurt or what we've gone through that it starts to put us in a place of victimization. We become a victim to the story. That person, that relationship, that job, it's no longer hurting us. It's gone. It's in the past. And yet we keep bringing it up, and we keep being hurt by this ethereal story. We keep being hurt by something that no longer exists. The beautiful element of the past is that it's in the past. There is a wall between us. We can't go back unless you're Marty McFly. You cannot go back in time and change anything. The only thing that we can change about the past is our perception of it. And that's the beauty of being a human, is that we always have the ability at any given point to change our perception of something, to feel and realize it in a different way. We can change our perception to actually realize anything negative in a positive way. And so that's really where we harness the power in the present to change the past. No, we can't go back in time and have that conversation with that person. No, we can't go back in time and make the other decision. No, we can't go back in time and whatever it is. But we can change our perception of the past. So we can look back at that time when I made that mistake and say, instead of letting it haunt me that I made this mistake and this person hurt me, you can look at it and say, wow, I'm now have the power to not make that mistake again. Next time I will make this choice. Or wow, I will never be with a person who hurt me like that. And the beauty of it is now I know, and I won't ever have to, the next time I feel this way, that's it. Or I'll never be in a job again where I work under a boss that was like that. And that's how you change your perception. You're like, wow, I'm lucky. A lot of people haven't had that experience that I had, but I do. And so I can prevent myself from ever being in that experience again. But whatever it is, you're being asked to come out of the cocoon. You should have come out a while back. And that's why you're being given this card of true, abundance. Basically, this is like a pass go, collect $200. It's basically a catch-up card for abundance. I feel like the universe was like, okay, we were waiting for you guys to get to this point. Like, now you're there. Break through, come out, and we're going to give you all the abundance you should have gotten 2 years ago, or 6 months ago, or even 2 weeks ago. As long as you come out as this new and improved, beautiful version of yourself, and you walk through the door we're holding open for you. Be the brave, lion-hearted Leo this month. Release the need to feel safe and secure and hide the new you, to hide the more beautiful, vibrant sunshine that you are. And you know what? The sun can burn people. And that's the way it is. But you're meant to harness the energy of the sun. And so if you, by shining your light, your best and brightest self, end up burning somebody, well, unfortunately, they're not meant to be in your light. It's not for you to tone it down and hide it. It's for you to realize that person either has to put on some sunscreen to be in your presence, or sit further away under an umbrella and still enjoy what you offer, or they can choose to simply not be in your presence. And this is really where coming into that interplay, that confidence between yourself and everything else, to understand that it's okay to just be you. It's okay to be the best and brightest version of yourself. And you're actually being asked this month to be that, to shine it, to now it's time to show your transformation, to show your beautiful wings, to tap into that energy of love, and to tap into walking through the doorway that Spirit is holding open for you, because you are needed. Because now more than ever, we need people who were divinely designed to work with the energy of love, to work with the energy of light. And that's what, by having Leo as a key placement in your chart, that's exactly what you are meant to do. You are meant to work with the energy of love and light. So, release the cocoon of security, whatever that is to you. Stories from the past, people in the present, situations in the present. Get back into harnessing your internal compass, your intuition, working with it. Change your perspective of the past to put yourself in a position of power, so that you can be open to the small opportunities that are coming in this month that are going to help you walk through the door that Spirit is holding open for you, to basically skip over all of this kind of not wasted time, but all of this extra time that you've taken from coming out of your cocoon, to really reap the abundance that's coming in July and towards the end of the year, so that coming into 2022, you guys are going to be in a position to be in that love and light, leadership in a love and light role. Okay, I'm going to pull just a couple tarot cards just to get additional messages. Okay, oh, and one pops right out. And I love this card in this deck. It's the 8 of Coins, which in the traditional tarot is the 8 of Pentacles. And I love the depiction of this, where it shows this man, basically putting together, he's connecting all of these coins, and it's creating this new structure, this structure that maybe he didn't even realize was going to come to be as he placed these dots where they are. But there's an element here. So the traditional 8 of Pentacles the meaning behind it is kind of keeping your head down and perfecting something. Whether you're perfecting a spiritual practice, or you're perfecting a job, or you're perfecting an area of study, there's something that you've been very focused on getting right and manifesting in the tangible world. But I think what I'm seeing in this depiction specifically, is this element of perhaps you have had your head down and you've been working and you've been perfecting something, or just working very hard at something. But now it's time to pick your head up. So if you see him, he's very hyper fixated on, putting the last kind of piece in the puzzle. And to take a step back and see how, with what you've been working on and all the work you've been putting towards something, how everything interconnects. And that's really where you're going to stay open to those opportunities that come in. That there's going to be these little points throughout the month that are going to connect all of your previous hard work. And then it's going to be like, oh my gosh, I see the bigger picture now. I see that my hard work has been rewarded. So this is kind of a dual-sided message here. It's keep working, keep doing what you've been doing as far as whatever you've been working on in whatever areas, whether it's in, your romantic love, interpersonal connection relationships, whether it's been in work life, career side of things, whether it's just been in you working on your spiritual self and your spiritual practice, or even your physical practice. You could have been really working on getting your body back in shape, or your health back into balance. But whatever it is, it's saying keep doing that. But now it's time to take a step back and see how this is going to connect to everything else in your life. That there are going to be these things that kind of come in and are going to help you manifest in the tangible world this new design. This is going to be a really cool month for you, Leos. I think from what I just feel, a lot of you guys have been, again, kind of hiding your best selves. Now, granted, we're all coming out of a pandemic. The reason why you might have not come out is because you've been scared, or you haven't been able to, because there weren't the opportunities, because everything was on lockdown. But now we're coming out of it. And now it's time for you to step beyond the fear, or to step beyond the physical blocks that have been there. And now you're being told it's time. It's time to shine as your brightest self, to harness your power of working with love and light, and to really be open to the small opportunities that are coming in that are going to help you build and manifest very quickly abundance in the areas that you're wanting. And don't forget about surrendering to your own intuition. Again, if those opportunities come in, do not ask other people's advice. Sit with yourself. Even if you have to say, let me think about it. Let me think about it for a minute. You don't have to answer right off the bat. If you get an opportunity and you want to prepare for it, or you want to sit and think about it before giving an answer, that's fine to do. In fact, sometimes that's better because it allows you the time to meditate and connect with yourself and to really feel into your body. How does this feel to me? But use that as the guide. Don't use sitting back as the time to then try to get 12 other people's opinions. This is about sitting with yourself this month and coming back to the confidence of you are the strong, prideful Leo on the hill for the reason you call the shots this month. All right, Leos, have a wonderful June. I just loved doing this reading. And I will see you guys all in July. Anybody who'd like to book a personal reading, the link to my website is in the description box below. Just to let you guys know, If you want to customize your reading, meaning you want it to be focused more on something specific, when you book the reading, you can in the notes fields, specify that. I really am having trouble in my relationship and I'd like more clarity in this area, whatever. Same with my one-on-one coaching sessions. Now those can and most oftentimes do involve tarot readings, so they can do that. They can also involve just more of a traditional spiritual coaching experience. So those are completely editable for whoever is ordering them and for the individual. So just wanted to put that out there because I've had a few questions. All right, guys, have a lovely June. I will see you all in July.